Okay, so all of you saw this video, right? All of you have seen this movie also. All of you have heard this song also, right? I want someone to come up with what are the life skills that you saw in this small child. I want someone to talk about what is the life skill that you saw in this child. Can anyone unmute, and one school can unmute and talk about what are the 5 life skills that you saw in that child?
I'm caring.
Okay. Anyone else?
Curious. I'm curious.
Okay.
Helpful.
Okay. Any other school?
Dare to take a risk.
Okay, very good.
Problem solving.
Perfect. Perfect. Problem solving, yes. Critical thinking. Very nice. So I asked for only 5 and I think I've got almost 7 to 8. So from a small video, you could come up with so many life skills that the child has. Has anyone taught this child life skill? No one. No one has taught this child life skill. No one has taught this child that this tortoise or the turtle was in danger and the child has to help the turtle to go back. The child was fearless.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
How? Why?
It's audible. It's audible, ma'am.
Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's audible.
So in this small video, did anyone of us teach the child these life skill? So every child inside has a life skill. We are born with our life skills. It is a life skill of survival. It is a life skill of caring, friendship, fearless, courage. So when the child is born with this life skill, what happens to the child when the child is in the school, when the child goes out into the life? Why is it that we need life skills so much? So what happens? The child has all these type of life skills, but the child, when the child is in the society, the child starts imitating everyone, and whatever life skill the child had inside, the child forgets, and the child comes up with things that the child sees in every day. For example, fear. The child is actually fearless. Every child is fearless. But the child comes up with fear, because fear of whatever, when you see, the child comes up by imitating the teachers, imitating the parent, the mother, father, the society. So it is our duty then to make sure that whatever the life skill the child was born with, we give back to the child. Then when we come to what is the importance of life skill, it is very important, because when the child moves away from a sheltered life, that is from the house, and the start goes into the society, then the child needs to survive. First, the child was with you all till class 12th, had a very sheltered life. The child was with the parent, again a very sheltered life. But what happens suddenly? Suddenly the child is in class 12th, and next month the child is in college and facing the world. Once he is in college, suddenly he's got a job and he's into the society. So to make sure that he survives in the society, it is so very important that we have life skill. Now, what are the different life skills that you think is needed to survive? What are the life skills? I think all of you know that. Just now you came up with problem solving, critical thinking, decision making, stress management. Come up with more topics. Come up with more topics. It can be, courage. There are so many life skills a child needs. Now, how do we make sure that the child learns these? How? Can one teacher inside the classroom? Is it possible for the parent body to teach? Is it possible for only the grandparents to teach or only one teacher inside the classroom to teach. No, it is a joint effort of everyone. But remember one thing, it is very, very important for the child to learn life skill to survive in the world. Think of a time when you suddenly, the women or the girls, when you get married, and we were not married, then we get married. Suddenly we are not in the job and we got a job, right? So suddenly what happened? What is the biggest thing that you face in a split second? Change, right? Change of atmosphere, change of place. Even when you change a job, you have a different boss, you have a different colleague. So the first thing that you have, the first thing that you need to deal with is what? Change. And change is the only thing. So the topmost thing which I think about life skill is change. And the topmost thing is change, because whenever you grow up, wherever you go, whatever situation you are in, change is the only constant thing. Okay, all of you have heard about Darwin, right? Now Darwin says survival of the fittest, but no one has gone beyond that. Darwin has said only the person who's the strongest will survive. But he has also said, which is most important, only the strongest, there will be many people who are strong, only the strongest who can adapt to change, adapt themselves to the change, will be the only people to survive. Right? Now COVID came, 2 years, Chat GPT has come, artificial intelligence has come. What has changed? What has changed? The whole world has changed. The jobs in the market have changed. Suddenly there is a different variety of job which has come into the market, where we are not absolutely ready for it. So the only thing, no one has been able to see the change. So the change is something that people have to adapt to it. Today we are learning AI, but AI is already there in the market. So those who have already learnt about it, they are the ones who are going to only survive. Okay, so you have to understand that if you don't change, you will also be stagnant and you will also remain where you are. Why am I saying this? We are teachers, right? Now there is a line which I keep hearing. Today's generation are very intelligent children. They don't need teachers. Why? They have Google, they have mobile phones. In a click of a button, they have knowledge inside their hand. If children can be like that, don't we have at the click of a button Google? Don't we have all these technologies with us? Then how is it a child can be more intelligent than us? A child can never be more intelligent than us, because one thing that you have and they don't have is experience. So always remember that. Again, it is a mindset to change. So you are saying, I don't want to change. I am so many years old, I don't want to change. Children don't take that. Children are adaptive to change. That is why they are moving so fast. For example, I am a social studies teacher. I need to teach solar system every year in the first week of April. I can't forget it, because for 13 years I have taught solar system. When you are teaching that subject, the content is the same. The book is NCERT. The book has not changed. What has changed? Children have changed. The intelligence level of children have changed. So if you don't change, will you become a good teacher? Will we be able to compete with our children? We need to change. We need to change the method of teaching. We need to evolve, and how to make sure that children sit in the classroom and they respect us. Because you have to understand, when you go inside the classroom, they know more than you. So the day I realized it, I had taken it that children will not know more than me. I will be one page ahead of them. How do you do that? How is it possible for you to do that? Children are always on the mobile. they're looking at internet, Google, they're reading newspaper, they are doing this. So what stops us every day before going inside the class to also make sure that all these things that we I have to teach, we also surf the net and we are able to know that. So you need to change your method of teaching to make sure that you have to embrace change. You understand? You have to embrace change, then only will you be able to teach change. Okay. So now, imagine 12 years, a child is inside the school for the 6 most beautiful hours, the 6 most productive hours of the child. For 12 years, every day is with you. So, can you bring about the change in a child? Yes, you can. Every teacher can bring about the change if you feel you are able to create. So, when we say teachers create future, that is why I said I am tomorrow. I am going to make, because I am going to shape the tomorrow by shaping the mindset of the children. Right? Now, in that movie you saw, in that small song that you saw, the child already has this. What do you have to do? You have to make sure that you polish it. And you have to make sure that is the line which I use, you have to walk the talk. If I want to say something to the child, then everyone in the school, everyone in the community has to talk the same language. I'll give you an example. What happens when there is a holiday? I keep hearing this from my teachers and from parents who keep talking to me. From the children. The children have started going out, eating out. The children love going out. Who has made their mindset? Everything is a mindset. We say, oh, today is a holiday, let's go and eat something nice outside. The minute you said that line, it shows that the food that your wife or the food that you as a mother is cooking at home is not nice. But you did not realize what you said. You said it's a holiday. Let's go and eat something nice outside. We say that it's a holiday. You cannot study today. But my question is, if it is a holiday, do you not have dinner? Do you not brush your teeth? Do you not sleep? So imagine what one line of yours, for 20 years the child is listening. So the child today, if goes to McDonald's or KFC or eats food from Haldiram, whose fault it is? It is not the child's fault. Okay? When the child is not eating, we put a small video and make sure that the child sees the video and the child is eating. And when in age of 10, the child gets addicted, we say, oh my God, my child is addicted to a mobile phone. Whose fault it is? Is it the child's fault? No. So you have to remember, change does not come in one day. It takes years and years and years of hard work for change to come. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to bring about a change, but you have to understand that the child is with you for 12 years. So there are few life skills which we had taken it upon ourselves that we are going to work on, is like decision making, problem solving, perseverance, communication skills, and every month we are going to talk about it. Today I am giving you a talk, but from next month it will be a more interactive session. So say for example, I have said this many times, but for the new teachers, academics is very important. Yes, so let's start with it. Then I will start I'll take one topic and tell you how you can sort of teach in the classroom. And Bhavna, you can stop sharing also. I think they have understood the thing. You can stop sharing now. Okay. Now, for example, you start teaching a child maths, science and English. Maths, science, English, Hindi. Okay. The child learns that from class 1 to class 10th. 11, 12, the child has to take a decision and the child has to take a stream. But till from class nursery to class 12, the child is studying. Okay? After studying, so 12 years, from 6 years old or to 18-year-old, the child is studying. After that, so when the child gets 100% in class 12th, we talk about so much of academics. 12 years, we only harp upon academics, academics, academics. So when the child gets 100 out of 100, 99, state topper, India topper, you have to go to IIT, you have to go to G, whatever. You have to become a doctor, you have to become an engineer, whatever. So the child studies that. And the whole 12 years in the school, we are only bothered about the child studying the subject academically, right? It is very important. I am not negating the fact, because marks gives you what? Class 10th good marks give you the selection or the choice to take your own stream in class 11th. So I cannot say marks is not important. 12th marks is very important. Why? It is important because the child gets the college that he or she wants or the parent wants, right? Marks gives you a scholarship. Marks allows you to become a doctor and an engineer, right? After that, again, marks allows you to get the first interview. You got through after 5 years. After exactly 5 years of working. Today it is not even 5 years. Today it is a turnaround time of 3 years. After 3 years, it is just marks on your resume and your CV. In your interview, no one asks you. I take teachers' interview. I have taken all PGT's interview. How many people have I asked for marks? I have new principals who have joined just now. Ask Debulina, I don't know how much her marks are. I don't know how much marks Mukesh has got in class 12. What do I look for? I don't look for marks. I don't look for, no one else looks for marks. And I have told this to you all before also. I'm a national scholar. I'm a university topper. I'm a gold medalist. And I have forgotten about it. You believe it. One day, for some reason, Bhavna saw my resume. And she said, ma'am, you're a gold medalist? Ma'am, you have written 6 books? I said, yes, Bhavna, I've forgotten. I think I've forgotten. Why? After 3 years, what prevails? Only life skill and where you have achieved in life. And where I have achieved in life is, so my first breakthrough is because of marks. So you cannot say marks is not important. Marks is very important. So you have to also understand, in school, 50% we have to harp on marks, result, and 50% is life skill. Because the next, my career 31 years is only because of life skill. Very few people reach the top. There are many more people who have reached much more beyond me. It's only because of life skill. What is life skill? Again, we come back to the same thing. How you deal with people, how do you deal. So you cannot, if you start writing, what are the life skill? You will have more than 100. If I tell you to start writing now, you will say 100 words you can write. What are life skill? So it is not one word, it is not 10. But what we normally do, we pick up 10 words. That it is very important. For example, say for me, the first thing in life skill is change. I want to change your mindset. I want to change. So whenever I say something, I first take a meeting with my principals. I want their mindset to change. Then I will ask them to change your mindset, because change is very difficult. 80% of the people don't want to change. And that is where we become number 2. That is where we become stagnant. So for me, the first thing is, you have to be a learner. You have to be open to change. If I don't change, I will not achieve what I want to achieve. For me, that is very, very important. For me, the second most important life skill is decision making. And I'll give you an example. Today, when you ask a child who's in class 10th, which stream you want to choose, 99% of the children will say, 99% of the children say, I will ask my parents. I will do what my parents have told. Or they will say, I will be a lawyer, or I will be a doctor, or I will be engineer. And when you ask them, the answer comes that for the last 10 years, the child parent is only saying, my son is going to become a doctor, my daughter is going to become. So, decision making, the child does not decide. The most important factor that is going to affect the child's life, because we have never allowed the child to decide on anything. We have never. We don't allow the child to decide. So suddenly you ask in class 10, what do you want to become? And what stream do you want to take? The child imitates either the teacher, the child imitates the parent, or the child imitates what is in the society, that is the peer pressure. These are the three things the child imitates. The child doesn't come from here because we have not allowed the child to decide. So we are developing a curriculum where we are going to make sure that the child decides. So in the new almanac, we have come up with every year the child is going to write what is my goal, what do I want to become. Let the child have 12 goals in 12 years, but let the child understand, evolve, and then make a conscious decision. I want to be this, or I want to take that. After that, does it stop there? Decisions can be wrong. It is not that decisions will always be right. So what is our duty? First, to make sure that the child can decide. Once the child decides, and if it is a wrong decision, the child has to live with it. Okay, that is the next, that the child has decided, so the child is accountable for that decision. And what is the third? If we can change the decision, how does the child change the decision and go to the right field? So these are something which cannot be decided overnight. And we are expecting our children to be like that. Because what happens when you pick up a job, when you are in when you are working, or you're picking up a stream which you don't love, which you don't like, you will never excel in that. You will never excel in that because your heart is not there, your soul is not there, right? And it is not something which is there only written in a line that don't do a job, pursue your dream. It will later on become a job which is going to give you money. I love working with teachers. I love being a teacher. So it's 31 years. The same thing which comes to my life, people say, ma'am, where do you get energy from? Because I always feel it is not a job. I have not done a job for 31 years. I see it in many of your teachers. I see in many principals. They don't want to retire. They don't want to not work. Why? It is a decision they had made. They love their job. When you love your job, the job doesn't remain a job. So always remember, you have to make sure that your children love their job, and that can only happen when you allow them to make a decision of their own. It doesn't have to be that a doctor's child will be a doctor. If the child wants to be a doctor, all right, but the child can be something else. Why don't we allow them to pursue that? Yes, we have a lot of problem with society. We understand we have to balance that, but at least something can come about and we can decide on a mutual thing, so that the end product for us teachers is what? The child. So that the child can benefit from it, right? So for me, the second most important life skill is decision making, and it is for everything. I need to decide. And if I make a wrong choice, I have to live with it. I'm very, very clear. And I have to live with it. I make sure if I have an opportunity to change my decision, I will make sure that in the correct way I do that. But decision making. The next thing which I feel is, perseverance, hard work, diligence is something that needs to be inculcated among children. You will see all the women who are working, they are much faster. Why? Because we don't have time, right? We are wives, we are mothers, we are daughter in laws, we are teachers, we are principals, we are everything. So we don't have time. So and it doesn't mean the women who are at home are not like that, but they are doing also multiple work. But I was just thinking that what does hard work mean? Hard work doesn't mean doing labor, work, doing the job of doing hard work, but it is diligence, perseverance, that if you are doing something, you have to make sure that you keep doing that in the best possible capability as per you, right? That I feel is very, very important. Now I'll give you one example. Today Zomato is doing very well. So I was reading an article. So his name is, I think, the CEO is Mr. Goel. So he's an IIT graduate, and he was saying that everyone was today talking about Zomato doing very well. Last year Zomato did extremely well. So people said, "Oh, you're so lucky. You have done this, and Zomato has suddenly come up, and in a few years' time, Zomato has done so well. You're so lucky." He was saying that no one has seen the 10 years that I have struggled. I am from IIT. I did not do a job, right? He started out, and before doing Zomato, he did 3 other startups which failed, but he did not give up. He did not give up. Because he did not give up, today Zomato is number one, and he started buying the other online apps also. So my question is, if you start reading, you will see that anyone who has excelled, anyone who has excelled, it has never happened overnight. We do not see the hard work. So when we are teaching our children hard work, when we are teaching our children perseverance, do we talk about the hard work which has gone inside Dipender Goyal's 10 years of struggle? I will give you another example. Actually, I read a lot. So my question to you all is also that you need to read a lot. In Britain there is a team. Bicycling is very important there in Europe. So in Great Britain there is a cycling team. 100 years before 2003, 100 years they were mediocre, but before that, before 1908, they were the top. But after that, they were mediocre. They had only one Olympic gold medal. But it is a very, very important game for the government of Great Britain. So in 2003, they took on a coach. They took on a director and a consultant who was given the task that, okay, try doing something. What did he start with? He made a 3-year gold, 1-year gold, 3-year gold, 5-year gold, 8-year gold, and a 10-year gold. Okay? In that 10-year gold, last goal in his interview, in the last 10 years, after 10 years when he was showing his projection, he had said the Great Britain's cycle team will win all world championship. But in these 10 years, no one will interfere with me and my team. I will do what I want with the team. If you can have faith in me for 10 years, then I will be able to give you a team which will win every world championship. In 2017, Great Britain had won. By that time, by 2017, Great Britain had won 178 world championships, won all the Olympics and even the French Open, whatever. But he had very, very specific thing that 10 years no one is going to uh, interfere with my way of training the students. You teachers have 12 years with a child. We, as a teacher, as a principal, I have 12 years. Can we not change the child? Yes, we can. So that's what motivated me. And I'll tell you what he did. He did not put a lot of money, because you don't have money. At that time when he started, he did not have money, because money means to put into the team. He said one basic thing: I will change 1%. I will improve 1% of everything every day. So people did not understand that. So he said that if I improve 1% in everything that affects my player, it is 37% in a year. And if my team decreases their performance by 1% every day, it means I go beyond zero. So in 1 year, either they will make it or they will break it. So you know what he started with? It was so nice reading it. And he started with plan for every child to be separate. Training will not happen together. For every person, the plan of training was different, because he said every person has a different mindset. He changed the small seat of the bicycle as per how tall you are, as per how fat you are, how thin you are. He made sure every player had a separate doctor. Why? They have a lot of muscle pulls, they have a lot of problems. He made sure that everyone is taught how to wash their hand, about hygiene, why? Because I don't want my players to fall sick. I don't want my players to have a cold. It's going to affect that 2 days. And 2 days means 2% down. Small. He changed the oil of the tire. So what he changed the pillow. Every person had a different pillow, depending upon what is the structure of the body. So when he did that, he had these goals. So he started after 5 years. So when we talk about a child in our school, we are talking about everything about the child. We are not just talking about the English that the child is learning. So if you want the child for next 12 years, you have the child with you, and you want the child to be a responsible citizen that we dream of. You want the child to be someone famous in the world. What do you need? You need to start that when the child enters the school, what are the things the child needs, and we need to change it. Because for me, it was a very, very inspirational thing that changed 1% of everything. It started with food, the way the child, the person is sleeping. He said, I will improve 1%. 1% you cannot see every day. But if it gets accumulated, you get to see. What do we see? So when I talk about learning outcomes with you all, this is why I'm saying learning outcome. We see half yearly and we see annual. In 6 months, the child has gone down. There is no scope for the child to improve. It is not humanly possible for the child to improve after half yearly. So if you are a parent, if you are a mother, if you are a teacher, make sure if you want the child to improve, it has to be 1% in everything. So similarly, when I was reading, when we say I'm going to reduce 25 kgs, it doesn't happen. So what do? My son has become a little bit, he's put on weight. So I have started applying this. So because if I say don't eat, mentally he will be stressed. So you know what I've done? So he has put on 10 kgs over 4 years. But suddenly when you see him that he's fat. And there was a time he was absolutely, because he stopped playing, he was a athlete, he stopped playing and he started working for the last 4 years. He's sitting down. Now, when I say you have to, you have to become thin, he said, I don't have time for gym, I don't have time to run, I will starve, I will not eat. But is it possible? So what happened? He used to have 4 chapatis, right? I saw the 4 chapatis when he sat down, I saw. But if I make it 3, it will be there in his conscious mind that I am not eating enough. So I told the maid, make 4, but make it absolutely thin. So for him, he doesn't understand thin or fat or whatever. But he saw 4. Mummy, आपने खाना कम नहीं किया? मैंने कहा, don't worry, I will do it in a right. Then he gets hungry in the middle of the night because he's working. His hours are very odd hours. I started keeping things. Say for example, he eats something. So if he has 3 portions, I will take 1 portion away. So he doesn't realize I've taken 1 portion away. Just 1, एक मुट्ठी ले लिया, उसको समझ ही नहीं आया. But धीरे धीरे I know within the next 6 to 8 months he will come back to normal without any stress, without understanding. But slowly I have used this 1% change every day. So for breakfast he used to have sandwiches. So slowly what I've done, he used to have 4 breads. I have made sure that slowly I have started giving him 3 breads. He doesn't understand. So what I did, I started making club sandwiches for him. So when you have club sandwiches for him with 3 bread, it looks big. So he feels, okay, I will become totally full. But I've started putting a lot of salads inside. So he is eating healthy. So 1% change and no drastic change. So this is something which I really believe that in anything that you want to do, it needs to be 1% change in every day and you will see the change. And this takes what? This is hard work. This is perseverance. This is what we call grit. This is what I call passion. Why do I call it passion? I want my son to become what he was before. That is my passion as a mother. So I am doing hard work. I am diligent to the food that he is eating. So it doesn't matter to him. The result will be him. But for me, that is a passion. So if my child improves, the child will improve. But what is your passion? To make sure that I get a state level topper. The state level topper will not come overnight. The state level topper will come when you start that 1% change in a child in class 1. So after 10 years, the national topper, India topper will come. Again, when I came for the interview here, they said one thing that you would like, after 1 month, they said one thing that you would like to achieve. I had said, my first work will be that in 5 years, I want 100% result, 0 compartment and 0 failures. We achieved it in 3 years. We have achieved it in 3 years. How? We don't have a magic wand. All my teachers are the same. All my children are the same. 1% change. 1% change every day, which you all did not even realize, which my principals also never realized that what I was doing. And today I'm telling you, before I leave, before I retire, I will give one state level topper, and I will make a plan where after another 5 years you will get a national level topper with the same teachers, with the same type of children here. 1% change. So every one of us. This is what I call perseverance, hard work, diligence on my part. You understand that? It is my goal, and in my goal I will do hard work. when there are many children who don't crack the IS, parents are very unhappy. Then in many you have to go to the military, the army, the air force. Lot of children of Bhimtal are going, right? So there are many people who can't go through. My son also wanted to go, but he got scared and he didn't go. So the question is, lot of people have asked, who are the children who get selected? You ask anyone, because no one knows what happens in those 5 days inside, right? The answer is, we will not be able to tell you who gets selected, but we will be able to tell you who don't get selected. The most intelligent child doesn't get selected. The person who runs the fastest, the person who speaks or communication skill is the highest, the person who is smartest, the person who's most intelligent, they never get through. So it was a shock for us. I also have people who are taking these type of classes, and they say, we don't know what happens in that five. Every year the training and the interview for 5 years keeps changing. But one thing is constant, is they see the life skill. So sometimes I kept asking, because I also want a lot of my children to go to military, army, IAS. What is it that they are looking for? They are saying they are looking for grit. They are looking for hard work, perseverance, diligence, plus. They're looking for, when everyone has fallen down, we are looking for that person. We are looking for that person who will get up for a team member, who will get up for the country. I had tears in my eyes when I heard that. When everyone falls down, I am looking for only that candidate who will stand up. He can be the thinnest, he can be the scrawniest, he can be the most indisciplined, but I want that candidate. I was, how do you see that? Well, we have a lot of things where we see. So where does that energy come from? It is the strongest of the life skill of that child, which comes out when you are eating, when you're playing games, when you're sleeping, when there is a fire in the building, when there is something. I don't know how many of you have heard. There is something called the Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs means the highest of the Navy. Highest. They are known as Marcos in India. MARCOS. Among 1,000 people, only one person gets selected. For every 1,000, only one person gets selected. Marcos is India's highest Navy team, which can go to any length to survive. And it is something, if you only read deeply, and if you are interested, then only we will come up with that there is a team like this. We normally see for Army, Air Force, these type of SEALs. But you don't hear about the Navy because it is the most difficult exam to pass. And for every 1,001, so they look for people, not the person who can swim the fastest, not the person who is the best in everything. The person who will get up when everyone has fallen down. Okay? So this is not something that I am, talking just to tell you all. It is something reality. It is something who excels and who does not excel. When your children go for their 12th exam, okay, you need to prepare their mindset. It is not easy. You know what we do? For years we only talk about how difficult 10th is, how difficult 12th is, how difficult 10th is, how difficult 12th is. Actually, it is not difficult. In India, it is not difficult. You have a set of question papers. You get 10 question papers from 10 different schools. You just need to do smart study. But we don't make it easy for the children. Again, it is perseverance, hard work, dedication. of both the child and the teacher. मेरा बच्चा तो अच्छा नहीं है, कर नहीं पाता, मेरा बच्चा बहुत indisciplined है. The mother also talks and we also talk. Now this year, from 1st April, when you take your children, start this mindset. It is very easy to get 100 in class 10th. Every day when you enter the class, you are going to talk that. Every day you are going to talk that. It is very, very easy to pass class 12. It is difficult to be in, we talk about the difficult things. We feel we are going to scare them, but you don't understand, you're playing with the mindset. And it is not difficult. It is how easy you make it for them. It is not, when you say it is difficult, they will close their mind. But when you say it is easy, it is easy. Why is maths difficult? Is maths difficult? No. Maths is not difficult. My teacher, my mother, everyone told me maths is difficult. Because my mother used to fail in maths. So maths is difficult. What is so difficult in maths? Nothing. This is how we need to talk. This is how we need to make the mindset of the children. So when we say it is very difficult, so it is your hard work, it is your diligence, it is your perseverance. What we speak every day is very important. You need to learn from each other. You need to learn from each other. You need to learn from your mother, the good things about your mother, your husband, your father, your wife, your principal, your colleague, your subordinate. You need to keep on learning and you pick up the good thing. If you see someone smiling all the time and having a positive attitude, you understand why. Go up and ask. Go up and ask, what makes you smile so much? She will tell you the mantra, he will tell you the mantra. But we don't do that. We like something. We see that he's very hardworking. Go and ask other principals, how did you make a state topper? Do we do that? Are they different? Nothing. We don't do that. So all these comes under your perseverance, hard work, diligence. We call diligence. Diligence is you have a goal, and to achieve that goal, what all is it needed, and you just fix it to that goal. Like Arjun with that eye of the fish, it is the same thing. It is the same thing. If you have that goal, no one can change you. But you need to put that in your children. How? How will you put that in your children is the most important question. The question is, you do not have a magic wand. I keep telling this to you 100 times. You are not a genie. There is no Aladdin's jinn here. It is hard work, perseverance, diligence. You have to harp on it from class 1 for the child to do well. Like for the last 1 year, I have been harping. We talk about 10th and 12th result. But what about my result in class 1? What about my result in class 6? And I know people look at me that what is she talking? If you don't start in class 1, you will never achieve in class 10th and 12th. Okay? So for me, that is very, very, very important for me. There is something they say, I want you all to pick up stories from your neighborhood, from your of hard work, perseverance, diligence, and talk about it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So that they understand the failure. They understand the failure and they understand that where the child has reached. From my life, till class 10th, I was a very, very mediocre student who used to get 60, 70, 80, and I was the most coolest of the 3 sisters. My elder sister used to always come first, and my youngest sister used to always come first. And when the report card came out, both of them used to get firing from my parents. Why? They thought, what is she going to do? She will get her 60%, 70%. What is the point talking to her? But why did my sister get 99 and not 100? Why my younger sister got 95 and not 97? So the conversation used to always be with them. Today I am the most successful among them. Most successful. I earn 100 times more than they earn. There is a reason behind it. They did so much of hard work, perseverance, whatever. They got so tired that when the time came for them to actually do well, they did not do well. So you have to also understand, it is just not hard work and perseverance. It has to be in the correct time. It has to be in the correct time. So remember, I said till class 10, till class 8, we are going to have activity based teaching also. We are going to have activities. We are going to show them movies also. We are going to do a lot of things. But we are going to have in such a way, it is like making sure that they understand the importance of class 12. They understand the importance of academics. I saw so much of TV till class 9, so much of TV, so much of movies. By the time I went to class 10th, 11th, 12th, I was sick of movies. I never wanted to watch TV. I only studied. I became a national scholar. So then I realized that these are the 5 years that I need to study. You understand? We don't realize, we feel. And also remember, parents also put a lot of pressure on children because they can teach you for a certain period of time. College they cannot teach you, no? So they don't interfere, but it is the college that you need. So you have to understand, this is what you need to inculcate. For me, the next one is positive thinking. Now, positive thinking has so many aspects. You have to remain positive in all. Okay, so I'll touch this topic today only, and then we will do a thorough revision on this positive attitude. It is one of the most important. Everyone knows Krishna Bhagwan and everyone knows Ramji. They always have a serene smile on their face. But read their life story. In their life story, there cannot be the more hurdles, challenges that has come. But they've always remained same. You'll always see a smile on their face. What does that mean? Whatever happens, there is a solution. Positive attitude means that whatever happens, there is a solution. Yes, something bad happens, we cry for a certain period of time, we get unhappy for a certain period of time, but we have to get over. If someone does not do well in class 10, doesn't matter. You have 11, 12, you have to do well in 11, 12. You don't do well in 11, 12, doesn't matter. You will not fall down, but you will get up and you will do well in graduation. This is something you need to teach the children. Failure. Positive attitude is one major thing in positive attitude is you have to learn to fail. You have to learn to get up. You will find obstacles. The simple example is of a river coming down from the mountain. When the river comes down from the mountain, there are so many boulders. Does the river stop? The river never. I'm a geography student. So for me, all examples are geography based. The river never stops. If the river erodes the boulder and crosses and goes. That is why you have waterfalls. If the boulder is big, it goes beside it. It goes beside the river, beside the boulder and takes its own path. But it makes its own path. Why? Because the goal of the river is from the mountain to the ocean. Whatever comes in the middle will come, and I will challenge it and I will change it. So this is a mindset that you need to again put in your children. So these are a few, life skill. Then there are many other things which I wanted to share, which I'm going to share every month. But remember one thing, 12 years, 6 hours, the child is with you. 50% focus on academics, 50% focus on life skill. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. but everything takes time. You do not have a magic wand. Just start using these languages. If you have a positive thought, you know, I have realized one thing. I have a knee pain. Everyone knows. I have a uh, uh, I have problem with my legs. I say that, right? I one day went to Banaras, and because I say in this my meeting I can't walk much. I went to the temple with Mr. Gaur. After that, after about an hour, Mr. Gaur said one thing to me. Ma'am, you said you have a problem with your leg, but you've been walking for 1 hour. I don't see any problem. It made me stop. 4 years back it happened, I think, or 3 years back it happened. And today, Mr. Gaur, I'm telling you, that line was so profound for me. I came back to the guest house and I said, what happened? 1 hour I walked and he said, ma'am, you keep saying you have no problem with your leg. In Delhi, I have problem walking. Then I realized I wanted to go to the temple, what may come. So my focus was only going to the temple and seeing, doing the darshan. My focus was not on that my legs don't work properly. What is it? It was my focus and my positive attitude. That I had thought that because he said that ma'am ये रास्ता बंद होगा, वो रास्ता बंद होगा, थोड़ा चलना पड़ेगा. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, I will try my best. But I reached, I went, so that's when, so today I'm learning. Today also I'm learning that what can the mind do? Mind can do everything. So when we talk about life skill, it is only what you make the child do it in their mind. And the mind is so powerful. There are so many sayings, before going to bed, say positive things. When you get up, you say positive things. What does that mean? What is hypnosis? It is only changing the mindset. So life skill is nothing but changing the mindset. There is no miracle in life. You will always, and there is nothing called luck. There is nothing called miracle. What you want, it will come. I have put it inside my head that I will dream things which will make you all laugh. I know there are a lot of people who do not believe when I said I'm going to give you a state level topper. I know there are people who will laugh at me, and there are people who laugh at me even today. But ऐसा कैसा कौन सा dream है when you will not laugh? A dream is not a dream if people don't laugh at you. A dream is not a dream when I don't go beyond what I think I can do it. What we do, we confine our mind. We are confining our mind. मैम ये नहीं हो सकता, मेरे बच्चे ये नहीं कर सकते, मैम मेरे बच्चे आते हैं. When we are talking negative, when we are talking like this, you have already closed your mind. Because I talk to you all, no? So you all say, ma'am, these children will do, these children will not do. I have only one question. You had 365 days with them. Why could we not increase 37%? We need only 33 marks. Even if you had made an effort to increase 1 mark for one child every day, the child would have passed. Do you realize the power in that? 1% every day is 37%. So can the child not get 33%? Can you not give him one small question to learn one day? Where is that 1% chance? So when I say it is not impossible, it is actually not impossible for you all to gain that. Second, negativity inside the classroom, or when you're talking with the parent, does not help. By scolding the child, by talking negative about the child, does not help. By saying, मेरा ये बच्चा नहीं करेगा, ये बच्चा नहीं कर पाता. You see, ये बच्चा करेगा. Have faith. Have faith. Talk to the child like that. You need to have faith. That child may not get 80, but the child will not fail. So we have to understand the importance of positivity. And when I talk about life skill, until and unless my teacher community, my staff, starting from my principal to everyone working in the school, they don't change their life skill or their perspective, we cannot expect children to uh, also inculcate life skill. Remember, it does not happen overnight. uh, I have taught in one of the best school of the country, 100-year old, 31 years back. It was the best school of the country. Today it is one of the best school. Okay. uh, the only focus was I will become permanent because I want my children in that school. Okay. So admission, I wanted admission. That focus was there. Then over the years, I became a very good teacher there. I feel I'm a very good teacher. You will never hear me saying, you will always hear me saying, I'm a very good teacher. It is an affirmation that I'm a very good teacher. So in that school, I learned, and it is a school where only rich people come. Only rich people come. 30 years back, I realized the importance of life skill in that school. From class 9 to 12, they had one period where we did not know what is happening. They used to have a team coming from outside. And the team outside used to have class 9 to 12 from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock outside. And we as teachers, you said, oh my God, that is the most productive time of the day. They need to study. No, nothing doing. 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, they were there in the field, and we never knew what they were doing. When my son came and he joined that class, I used to ask him, what are you doing today? Today we had we had to solve this problem, we had to solve that problem. I did wall climbing, I did something jumping, I did something. So I said, what did you learn? Mom, we are having fun. So how do you have, every day you have fun? Yes, we were having fun. And we will never miss that period, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Then he said, today they made us do 10 laps. Today they made us jump into the swimming pool. Many crazy things they used to do. And they used to love that class. Later on, I understood that it was a life skill class that was going on. And in that life skill, through those fun activities, and it has happened from class 9 to class 12, they were being taught teamwork, dedication, hard work, diligence, how to perceive. I mean, they were being taught everything in that 4 years. It was surprising for me that, because we always thought, that's when I realized that today when I see the children of that school, everyone is someone in the society. Everyone. Out of that, today also there are 2 Supreme Court Chief Justices from that school. Attorney Generals are from that school. You name a doctor, they are from that school. I say, how? You name a media house, you name anyone, they are there in the... that school had only 2,500 children, but they had 37 DTC buses. You know what is a DTC bus? A DTC bus is a bus which runs on the road. Those green buses, all of you have those local buses where no windows, windows are all broken, chairs are all torn, or there are wooden chairs, and 99% of the children used to come in the DTC buses. And those children are the 1% richest children of Delhi. 1% children in the Delhi, and 99% children used to come in DTC buses. We were told that from class 6 onwards, we would prefer if your child comes in the school bus. So when a school says like that, everyone gets scared, and we make them, okay, the children will come in the school bus. Imagine the richest of the people using the transport. So I'm not rich, I was just a teacher. When I had to write that, I went and spoke to the, because they had all become my friends in the office. I said, "Sir, you're making my child come in the school bus. I live in Noida. The bus will take so long. I'm so scared." Don't. Your child will become self-reliant. He will never call you after 6 months. Can you believe? And I had told you this also before. First day in class 6, my child started from modern school and he missed his stop. I was standing, because the first time he was traveling in the school bus, I was standing there and with my driver, and my driver says the child hasn't come down. We ran. We couldn't, and I was working. So the driver says the child hasn't come down. What happened? He sees that after 2 stops, the child gets down and was hailing a rickshaw. He says, "Shubham, what happened?" "I missed my stop. I was sleeping." She said, "You were not scared?" "No, we were told that we will go off to sleep, and if we miss our stop, to get down and hail a taxi and tell the taxi or a auto or a rickshaw and go back home." I said, "But you did not have money." "Yes, the teacher also said. So go home and tell your mother, father, whoever is there to do the payment." So, "Mom, doesn't matter. Don't bother about me." It was a shock for me. What I could not have taught my child, the school taught in one day. Because they said going in the DTC bus is not difficult. Imagine the profound life skill that the school taught the child. Do you think they will be scared of anything in life? So you understand there is that how important, and life skill can't be taught inside the classroom. It is in everything. It is in everything. So that is why I keep harping. And today, after COVID, I feel with suddenly the jobs are changing. AI has come. There is retrenchment everywhere. Chat GPT has come. So out of 5, 1 stays in the organization, 4 goes away. So I have realized what is going to happen. What is going to happen to the children who are there in Hermann Gmeiner School. So if you are wanting your children to do well, you have to break away from your way of thinking. You have to change. You have to change your perspective of how to teach. You have to change your perspective how to bring up children, and you have to be one up from your children. If you feel your children know 10 pages, you will read 12 pages and come. You will be one up. Then they will be like Pied Piper of Hamelin. They are going to be behind you, because today we are not called as teachers, we are called as educators. We are called as mentors, because the concept of teacher has also gone away. Right? We are educators and we are mentors. So there was this webinar where someone says, so that means Chat GPT, Smart Panel, everything will take away the job of a teacher. Never. The job of a teacher can never be taken away with digitalization. Till a teacher shows the child that a smart panel cannot teach a child life skill. Chat GPT cannot teach your life. The Chat GPT can make your child smarter, make your child more intelligent. Smart panel can make the world come to the feet of the child. But life skill, holistic development that we talk about, positive attitude, decision making, critical thinking, problem solving, stress management, anger management, emotional intelligence can only be taught by a teacher. A teacher can never be replaced. But you have to make sure that you adapt to the change. Right? I think I have taken a lot of time, teachers, and there's a last one video I want to show. It's a small request to you all. Start reading, start going through Facebooks, get these type of videos which I've told you before also, and start looking at the life skill. This is a small video which I suddenly saw, and it was on friendship. It was on friendship, but for me it was not friendship. It was the ultimate life skill, where it was fearless, out of the box, love, caring, friendship, whatever you say, it was there in this video. Okay, thank you so much and have a great year ahead, but every month we are going to have one of these sessions. Bhavna, I want you to start the video, please. See the video.
My screen is visible?
Yes, see the video and think how many life skill is there in this video. It cannot be one. It is not friendship. Never give up. My teachers, never give up as long as you are alive. Never give up on your children, your husband, your in-laws, your students. Never give up as long as you are alive. You. So that is why I said I am tomorrow. I am the tomorrow of someone. And as teachers, you are the tomorrow of all the children who walk inside the Hermann Gmeiner School. Never give up on any child till you are a teacher in that school. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.